There you are. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. What's my oxygen levels looking like?
At 100%.
Alright, set a course to Dark Waters 9.
I would watch for Baron, because here's the thing. There's also another book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote this book too in the late 1800s, depicting this character.
When they pick those same names.
Yes.
Baron Trump.
Baron Trump. That is a book. Yes. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote both these books. Right?
In the 1800s.
Yes. I believe it was like 1893, 1896, something like that.
Then there has to be time travelers.
Well, here's the thing. In the book, Baron Trump is a time traveler. No bullshit. All this is in the book, you guys. And guess what? So he time travels, right? He has a mentor named Don. This is in the book. So, here's the theory. That Trump actually has some type of time travel technology only because Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, Nikola Tesla died. They sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist, engineer, smart guy. So they're like, hey, go in to Nikola Tesla's, room and decipher all his works and whatnot. Because, Nikola Tesla discovered free energy and a multitude of things, right? So Donald Trump's uncle goes in there and says, we didn't find anything. Bunch of BS. You don't think that Nikola Tesla, who had discovered free energy and manipulated electromagnetism, which had that you can, in theory, bend time, light, and space, this man's works was confiscated by him and he didn't find anything? I would watch for Baron, because
this strange clip shows a man and a woman sleeping on their couch in the front room. All seems normal until this happens. Take a look. As they are sleeping, we suddenly see the woman's legs start to be pulled up close to her head. She wakes up in a panic, which also wakes up the man, who is confused with what's going on. She later went on to say that they had been experiencing paranormal activity in their home since going to a Halloween party in an abandoned prison. She believes something evil followed them back. So, do you think this is evidence of something paranormal? Could the woman simply have had a severe case of cramp, or could it be just a hoax? What do you think?
I think her leg is in an awkward position, only if somebody could, what I'm saying? I don't know. But from here, it looks like her leg is in a tough position for one to put it in, if you ask me. What do I think happened there? I don't know. Some type of ghost trying to stretch her out? You tell me.
Brinnacle, also known as the finger of death. These underwater icicles form when supercooled brine sinks and freezes everything it touches. They grow slowly downward until they trap and kill sea life on the ocean floor. Brinnacles are among the strangest and deadliest ice formations in the ocean. Brinnacle, also known as the finger of death.
It basically just freezes everything it touches? How extraordinary. I can see the finger.
Project Fishbowl. Scientists are trying to crack the firmament. They want to see what lies beyond the Earth. They launched
Altitude. Altitude.
No lead. He's at lag. Now. EB, can I save it? Maybe not in a 2 bag. Oh, we saved it. Oh.
So Viper 10,000. Viper knock it off, Viper 1 knock it off. Viper 2 knock it off.
Woo! Alright, max 6.9 G's there. That's a good one. Left hand turn.
This has to be some type of training exercise, as you could see the plane in the back starting to trail. I think it was right about here that you could start to see the plane pop up. There it is. How exciting is that?
High into the upper sky, watching the atmosphere light up and ripple. The sky becomes a testing ground. Auroras painting the limits of reality. Or maybe this project was actually used to study EMPs and space radiation. Project Fishbowl.
That is hilarious. They have scientists up there with the John Henry hammer. What an interesting theory.
So you guys wind up on the coast of a completely unknown landmass with zero sunlight and a predatory primal breed of humans.
Brother, it was something out of a horror movie, okay? Arrived with 5 crewmates, and God rest their souls, man, we left with 2.
As soon as we touched the surface, we're looking around just thinking, man, what the hell is this place, right? It's colder in Alaska, zero sunlight, which at first we didn't think was strange. We just figured it was nighttime, you know? And before any of us can even utter a word, right? This is where, I mean, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We hear George just say, everybody listen, and listen carefully. There are people in the water behind us. Turn your flashlights off. Do not make eye contact with them. They're not like us. Do you understand me? Right? He goes, we're going to head for the forest up ahead. We need to move now. Stay behind me. And we just take off like we're running a relay, right? I mean, we don't know if we're being chased. As we're going, we hear these growls so loud it's vibrating through your chest, right? And I kid you not, off to the far right side of our path, there are 4 or 5 of these black wolves, at least 6 or 7 feet tall, okay? I'm just screaming to the crew, go, go, go. I pull a flashbang off my backpack, slip the pin out with my teeth and just send it like a Hail Mary, right? And we just keep gunning straight into the depths of this forest. I'm hearing it in the trees beside me. There's creatures soaring through the sky like it's fucking Game of Thrones, right? We finally get to a neutral ground, right? We catch our breath. And first thing I say to George is, look, what do you know about this place? What happens if we make eye contact with those people? And how did you know not to, right? I mean, we all worked under NASA at the time, but he was the only one who was ex-CIA, you know? He goes, look, I'm not 100% certain where we are, but so far everything's matching up pretty perfectly. I go, matching up to what, right? And he goes, when I worked at the agency, there was research about a place they referred to as Region 8, okay? The more I looked into it, the crazier it got. There were all these undocumented derivative human species, land masses, one of which, called Panthea, or the Dark Continent, outside the parameters of sunlight, rocky terrain, and inhabited by natives which have certain biological adaptations that had them flagged by us as the single most dangerous species on the planet. And I'm going, what kind of adaptations, right? He goes, they have what we understood as biokinesis.
So you guys wind up on the coast of a completely unknown landmass.
Sounds like they were in those spots Admiral Byrd was trying to tell them about, beyond the ice wall. The Dark Continent. What they call it? District 8? Little do they know, we stay on Dark Waters 9.
All right, go ahead, wagon. Throw it in. Watch this, man. Pure warfare. Look at these things fight for this. Look at, he's got it. Look at it. Life is good. If you fall in here, you are dead, man.
Woo! How was that for a fest, huh?
And that one guy had it.
No, you did. That was sick, man.
All right, go ahead, wagon. Throw it in. Watch this, man.
why train them for anything that splashes there? You know, that's not good. Uh-oh, it looks like we're about to be living in the Jetsons soon.
This is the Pivotal Helix all-electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. It is a Part 103 ultralight aircraft, single seat for recreational use that you can order today at pivotal.aero. To fly the aircraft, it's very simple with a single joystick. You simply push up to climb, hold down to descend, and a hover you can twist to accelerate and decelerate forward and rolling turns left and right, as well as a trigger for transitioning hover to cruise and buttons for auto landing. Now on the touchscreen display here, you have all of your navigation data, airspeed, altitude, heading, wind direction and speed, battery life, motor temperature, ground speed, and pitch angle of the aircraft. Inside the headrest, the brains of the aircraft, a fully triply redundant flight control computer system. Further back, we have triply redundant pedostatic and GPS. Now here we have a fixed wing, fixed pitch prop aircraft, all carbon fiber props, brushless motors, lithium ion batteries inside the wing. And over here on this side, you have servos to control the elevator or the elevons, which are a combination of elevators and ailerons to help tilt the aircraft as well as stabilize it in cruise. The entire body of the aircraft is carbon fiber and is a tilt aircraft architecture, so it pitches up into a hover and then tilts into cruise much like an airplane. The body of the aircraft does float and is helped with the ballast floats on the front of the wings. The Helix also is equipped with a ballistic parachute that can be deployed at an altitude of 200 feet or higher in the unlikely case of an emergency. For more information, go to pivotal.aero. We'd love to chat about getting you in the cockpit to experience it for yourself.
Interesting. Imagine taking one of these boys in the Grand Canyon restricted section.
This flower is a crocus, and those tiny red threads are saffron. Each one is hand-picked with tweezers, 3 per flower. It takes over 100,000 blooms to make just 1 kilo of saffron. And that kilo of saffron can cost up to 10,000 euros, making this the most precious spice on earth.
Dang. I wonder if they're using this on, anybody using any saffron on their Thanksgiving turkey today. Today is Thanksgiving, isn't it? What are you guys cooking? You guys getting ready to eat good? Nobody invite me. I ain't get no invite. What you guys cooking? Did my man just climb inside this tree? This tree is completely hollowed out. Look, you can see the bats though. Oh yeah, that's Bat City. That's at least 20 bats living inside that giant hollowed out tree. But the question remains, who hollowed this giant tree out? Who's living inside there? This massive tree. Costa Rica National Park.
This video is going viral right now because Busta Rhymes came out to tell the audience this. Listen to this. Do you remember when Cat Williams said they make you wear a dress, and if you don't wear the dress, you don't get the roles you're looking for? Big Mama's House with Eddie Murphy. Of course, it's comedy, ha ha ha. Some say it's a humiliation ritual. You have the one with Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire. We have the movie White Chicks. There are more movies than you may remember that have this type of situation going on. Chris Rock wore the dress. So now I can't really get that out of my head when I see a famous person wearing the dress, a famous man wearing the dress. I go, damn, he took them up on their offer. And then we have the notion of one-hit wonders. Some people think that one-hit wonders are people who refused to join the cult or sign on the dotted line or sell their soul. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more. This
Dang, that's why they're one-hit wonders. I never thought about that.
Yo, I told you they creating NPCs. It states the parasite controlling minds. Half the world is infected with the parasite that alters the brain and drives impulsive, risky behaviors. This is the reason for things like mass as well as other insane, heinous acts. The name of this parasite is referred to as Toxoplasma gondii. Their objective is to completely hijack and override your neurophysiology. More than half the Earth's population is believed to be affected with this parasitic organism. This is why the world is filled with so many NPCs or non-playable characters. None of these bizarre events that are taking place all around the world are coincidental, okay? Most of these individuals that are non-playable characters are maliciously created and turned into non-playable characters, and it's primarily facilitated through the food. What if I told you that parasite eggs are maliciously manufactured and placed in the processed food purposely, okay? And when you consume this processed food, the larva begins to grow in your colon. And once the larva grows, it then sends neurological signals, making you crave more of this food that you shouldn't be consuming in the first place. It's very important that we refrain from processed foods. Most of the processed foods are bioengineered, genetically modified organisms that are engineered and designed to override your genetic sequence. When doing a parasite cleanse, it's also imperative that you remove all toxic metals. Parasites are very intelligent and they tend to hide behind the toxic metals, okay? Like lead, cadmium, mercury, and aluminum, which are emitted from the chemtrails as well as placed in our drinking water through the irrigation systems. Most people are filled with parasites and don't even know it, all right? Parasites actually have the ability of traveling from your colon to your heart to your brain, and they can hijack your neural synapses and actually make you think of crazy things that you would never do, okay? Parasites are pretty much closely related to archons or demons. This is also why they made us aware that pretty soon we will start seeing demon face syndrome. This is a result of parasites, actually, that are attached to the R complex portion of the brain, which is located near the brainstem and basal ganglia, that actually have the ability of reflecting outwardly through your appearances, okay? These parasites literally have the ability of fully hijacking the host.
For entertainment purposes only, make sure you do your own research on everything. Don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. It is just theories.
NPCs all over the world have now started to glitch, which has really made people wonder that these are not just human beings, because not only did they catch this lady on camera doing this, but it all started with a man who ended up, and his first reaction was as you guys can see, it got so bad to the point that they had to end up pulling him out. But then again, you guys let me know what you think. And
My initial thoughts is that he is definitely on something, but as for her, this is disturbing. Nah, that is insane. Something is not right here.
What if you could print a steak in minutes that looks, feels, and tastes just like the real thing? This 3D printer churns out up to 10 kilograms of vegan steak per hour. Using plant-based proteins, fatty acids, and natural colorants, its precision nozzles extrude layer by layer, mimicking real muscle fibers and texture. You can even customize the fat ratio, firmness, and nutritional profile to your liking. What if you could print a...
That is crazy. A 3D printed steak? A vegan steak? If you thought you weren't going to have another excellent specimen today, think again. All right. What do we have here? Really sure what this color is. Like a bluish purple. But what would be the name? Not lavender, like a dark grape. Yeah, like a Arctic grape. If I had to name it a color. I'm getting like an Arctic grape brains. If I had to name this specimen, the Arctic grape brain. What would you guys call it? Drop it in the comments below. And that's all we got for today. Hope you guys are having a happy Thanksgiving, which is today's code word.
I thought this was fake, but they actually did it. They might have found the most famous ancient artifact in all of history. For the longest time, historians dismissed it as a myth, a made-up story glamorizing one of humanity's greatest moments. And now, CIA documents from 1988 reveal the Ark of the Covenant is real, and they know exactly where it is. Known as Project Sunstreak, where they sent over 30 agents on very special missions to find the Ark without telling them what they were looking for or even where they were going. Just that they were looking for something very important in order to make the operation as unbiased as possible. The three major goals for this project were establish whether a threat exists, if so, what are its dimensions, and can it be exploited. One particular agent on this mission, number 32, described finding almost exactly what they were looking for. He reported seeing a container with another container inside of it, made of wood, gold, and silver, and was shaped like a coffin, decorated with seraphim on top, which are these things. This already very accurately describes the Ark of the Covenant, without even knowing it's what he was looking for. But it doesn't end there. He goes on to confirm that he found this container hidden underground in the Middle East as he heard people speaking in Arabic around him. According to him, the container's purpose is to bring people together, holding information and historical knowledge far beyond anything we know, and that it's protected by powerful entities in this underground Middle Eastern chamber, also seeing domed roofs on the surrounding buildings. Keep that part in mind. The agent explained that this box can only be opened by those authorized to do so, and that it won't be opened until the time is right. Anyone who opens it before then will be destroyed by an unknown power. All in his official CIA report. Everything he described are known characteristics of the Lost Ark, without even knowing what he was looking at. And the reason he didn't know where he was or what he was trying to find was because this was a remote viewing mission the CIA had sent him on. In case you didn't know, the CIA was kinda obsessed with remote viewing in the 70s and 80s, part of their larger Project Stargate program. Put simply, remote viewing is the ability to project your consciousness to other parts of the world, or even outside of our world and at any point in time, to see exactly what would be there if you were to go in person, also known as astral projection. Kinda like when you die in a video game and you're waiting to respawn, you can fly around and see everything as that invisible camera that no one else can see. Now I know when most people hear this, they immediately call it nonsense voodoo psychic magic that has no merit in reality. But it kinda works. The CIA and similar agencies have successfully used it on numerous occasions with incredible results. Like Patricia Mona, who successfully found 30 missing people for the RCMP in Canada through her remote viewing sessions. Joe McGonigal, a decorated intelligence officer, described seeing the construction of a giant Soviet submarine through his sessions. An idea that was mocked and literally laughed at the time until they actually found it, and it matched exactly how Joe described it. Other remote viewers drew accurate sketches of secret Soviet bases, which later turned out to be real, or found the exact locations of hostages during major events like the Red Brigade and the Israeli hostage crisis, which were then rescued. Angela Ford was tasked with finding a fugitive on the run through remote viewing and found the name of the exact city he was hiding in Wyoming. He was there and they caught him. Former President Jimmy Carter himself admits they got the exact coordinates of a crashed plane in Africa from a remote viewer, and lo and behold, it was there. Not to mention the CIA invested hundreds of millions of dollars into Project Stargate before they shut this program down in 1995. Sure, you can argue that even a broken clock is right twice a day, and if you remote view enough times, yes, eventually you'll get something right. But these were all incredibly detailed events, locations, and descriptions, and it would be a stretch to call them all just coincidences. It's not perfect, but it works a lot of the time. These training programs insisted that remote viewing is a skill that anyone can learn if you put in the effort. There are some people who are more naturally gifted than others, and these are who they select for their missions. The way the CIA typically conducted their remote viewing missions is by providing anonymous coordinates to their psychic agents and telling them to project themselves there to see what they find. And as we saw with remote viewer number 32 of Project Sunstreak, he potentially witnessed the most sought after relic in all of history, the Ark of the Covenant. A biblical artifact whose existence is hotly debated, but we do kinda know exactly what it looks like. A giant chest adorned with gold and acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long by 1.5 cubits wide, that is said to hold the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, the 10 rules of living as written by God and given to Moses in the Bible, as well as Aaron's rod, Moses' brother and the first high priest, which is said to have its own source of divine power, and a golden pot of manna, the divine white flaky food given to the Israelites in the desert by God in order to keep them fed. The book of Exodus goes into crazy detail about
How do they know it's white flaky food? I didn't know that.
The exact specifications of the ark, and we can pretty much construct a perfect replica based on all the written measurements and instructions given. The Bible even describes the exact sequence of events of where the ark was moved throughout the generations. Over hundreds of years, the ark was carried by the Israelites throughout the land as God directed them where to go. It eventually ended up at the Temple of King Solomon in Jerusalem, the last known location of the ark before the temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 587 BC. But remember our remote viewer number 32, when describing the ark, mentioned seeing buildings with domed roofs in his report? Well, the most famous dome in the Middle East and arguably the world is the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, an Islamic mosque built in the 7th century AD. What's interesting about the Dome of the Rock is that it was built on Temple Mount, one of the holiest sites in the world, and the same original location as King Solomon's temple before it was destroyed, the last known location of the Ark. That's because the Dome of the Rock was built on top of something called the foundation stone, a massive stone block of great significance, as it's believed this is where God's creation of Earth started according to religious tradition, and is also the rock upon which the Ark was expected to be placed on in the OG Temple of King Solomon, as if it couldn't get any more obvious. Beneath the stone are several known tunnels and chambers called the Well of Souls, which people have visited and very clearly exist. But beneath that well is another hidden chamber that's sealed off and is where the Ark of the Covenant is rumored to be held. Access to the Dome of the Rock is very heavily restricted, and you also have to be Muslim to enter, as it is an Islamic mosque, sparking further rumors that they're intentionally hiding it there and not letting anyone claim it for religious dominance. But hey, I'm not touching that one. We're not starting a holy war over here. But it is very interesting to see this remote viewer describe what appears to be the Ark of the Covenant sitting in a dark cave in the Middle East surrounded by domed buildings, without even knowing what it was he was looking for. So either call it a coincidence, or they know exactly where the Ark is, and who knows what sort of powers it holds.
I was thinking it could be at the Vatican. I believe you have to be wearing some type of breastplate to even carry it as well.
Of a Victorian traveling dentist's set, circa 1845. This is a really interesting time in dental artistry when it was sort of become.
When they say Victorian, I think Tartarian. That's just the first thing that comes to mind, but you do gotta admit, look how hard they went. Is that pearl handles? Ivory? What's going on here?
Of more formal profession, and this is clearly just the finest of such a set. Really beautiful mother of pearl inlay, sterling silver. My favorite part is it opens up here. That comes off and you get more tools there, and then
look at the velvet rose pattern at the top. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are all doing well, eating well. I just want to say I'm thankful for all you guys hanging out with me. Today's episode was a lot of fun. I can't wait till we all do a live together. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. I look forward to that. And this was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.